Hello students, how are you? I wish all of you will be healthy and safe. So students, in this tutorial you will learn the various mathematical functions used in Python. Okay. First of all, you should know about the math module available in Python. Okay. What is math module? The math module is a standard module in Python and is always available to use mathematical function. Whenever you use the mathematical function, you have to use math module. Okay, so how to use the math module? To use the math module, you have to use this sentence: import math. Okay, how? Simple, write down import math. So this is the way to use the math module in your program. Okay, now this module does not support complex data type like list, tuple, dictionary, etc. So math module is not supported by these type of data types. Okay. Now there are various functions available in math module in Python. Okay. So one by one you will learn. Okay. Now first function is ceil function. Ceil is just like a upper part, above value. Okay, just you have the ceiling fan, so ceiling fan is above the head, so that's why using ceil function you will get the greater value. Okay, so it returns the smallest integer greater than or equal to x. Okay, let's take an example using number line. Okay, so in this number line, suppose you are using the ceil function for 0.5. Okay, ceil function always return the greatest round off value. Okay, so 0.5 is nearest to 1 and that's why it will return 1. So you should remember always the ceil function always returns the right hand side value on the number line. Okay, now check it. Okay, write down the print. Okay, one thing you have to do more, you have to use, okay, write down the message here. Now result equals to like this. Okay, whenever you use mathematical function, you have to use math keyword with dot operator. Okay, math dot, write down the function name, and here you have to write down the parameter. Okay, like 1.5. okay, now guess it, what will be the return? Okay, it will return, now check on the number line, 1.5. So 1.5 is closer to 10. So you should remember, whenever you use the ceil function, it always returns the right hand side value. Okay, so 1.5 is closer to 2, so it will return obviously 2. Let's check it, save the program and run it. Okay, it will return 2. Okay, take a negative value. Now minus 1.5. So guess what will be the return? What will return? Okay, it will return. Check on the number line. Now minus 1.5. You should remember that the ceil function always return the right hand side value. So it will return minus 1, not minus 2, because minus 2 is smaller than minus 1.5. So it will return minus 1. Okay, let's check it. Now save it and run it. Okay, so it will return minus 1. Okay, now the next function is floor function, just opposite to ceil function. Ceil returns the greater value and floor returns the smallest value. Okay, less value. It returns the largest integer less than or equal to x. So in the case of floor function, it returns the left hand side value. So if you use the floor function with minus 0.5, so it will return minus 1 left hand side value. If you use minus 1.5, then it will return minus 2. Okay, now let's check it using the floor function. In the floor function, what you will get, suppose I am using 1.5, then guess what will return? 1.5 will be closer to 1, so it will return 1. Okay, save it and run it. So what will be the result? Guess it is 1. Okay, now use the negative value. if we are using the negative value -1, so guess what will be the result? The result will be, check on the number line, -1.5 will return -2. Okay, so it will return, save it and check it, it will return -2. Okay, -2. So it is clear what is the use of ceil function and floor function. Okay, so next function is copy sign function. Okay, it returns x with the sign of y. Okay, it returns x with the sign of y, means the x will copy the sign of y. Okay, now let's check it. Let's, okay, we are using the function copy sign. Copy sign. Copy sign. Oh, sorry. Copy sign, and you have to use math keyword also. Math dot copy sign, and you have to use two parameters here, like 2, -3. Okay, now here this is the x and this is the y, and sign of y is minus, and what you will get? You will get -2, because copy sign function will copy the sign of second parameter to 1. Okay, now check it, use it, okay, run it. What will the result? Result will be obviously -2. Okay, so this is the use of copy sign function. The copy sign function copy the sign of second parameter to first parameter. Okay, now let's go to the next function, that is fabs. Fabs, it returns the absolute value of the given parameter. Okay, it returns the absolute value. You know what is absolute value? Whenever you use the absolute function, it returns always positive number. If you pass the negative number, it will convert it into positive number. If you pass positive number, it will also convert it into positive number. Means it always returns a positive value of x. Okay, let's check it. Okay, now use math.fabs, F-A-B-S, fabs, and here you have to write on the single parameter. Okay, you have to think one more. Here I have written x and y, so in this case you have to write on two parameter. You have to write on two parameter compulsorily. If you are using the x simple, so here you have to pass only single parameter. Okay, now fine, you are using the okay, now fabs -3, what will be the result? Obviously it will return the positive value always, so it will return +3. Okay, +3. So this is the use of fab function. Okay, now next function is factorial function. Okay, it returns the factorial of x. So first of all, you should know what is factorial. Okay, to understand factorial, I have to use the example for you. For example, if you are finding the factorial of 5, okay, so factorial of 5 means equals to 5 multiplied 4 multiplied 3 multiplied 2 and multiplied by 1. What will be the result? The result will be 5 4 is 20, 23 is 60, 62 is 120, 121 is 120. The result will be 120. So this is the way to find out the factorial of a number. But using factorial function, you can directly find out the factorial of the given number. Okay, so now let's check it. Okay, now you have to use the factorial function. Okay, in 11th mathematics you will learn about it in detail. Okay, now you have to add a factorial of 3. So guess what will be the factorial of the 3? Obviously 3 into 2 into 1. 3 2 is 6 into 1, it will return obviously 6. What will be the result? The result will be 6. Result will be 6. It is the result. Okay, so this is the use of factorial function. Okay, now let's move to the next function, that is mode function, f mode. So f mode returns the modulus. Okay, as you use this sign like this modulus operator, so this is the function of f mode function also. This modulus operator and this mode function is similar. Okay, now x is the dividend and y is the divisor. Okay, after dividing this number, what will be the remainder? It returns by f mode function. Okay, now let's check it. Math dot f mode. In this case you have to write down the two parameter like 12 comma 5. So what will be the remainder? 5 to the 10 and remainder will be 2. Okay, now check it. Remainder will be 2. Okay, let's move to the next function, that is frexp. Okay, returns the mantissa and exponent of x as the pair of m into e. So students, I don't know about this function, so because I have no idea about mantissa and exponent, so for this you have to discuss with your maths teacher. Okay, but here I will tell you how to use this function. Okay, but I have no idea about the mantissa and exponent. Okay, now use frexp. Okay, now frexp. Okay, or here write down the value like for 100. Yes, and write out the result. Okay, so this is the result, but I have no idea how the result is coming. Okay, for this you have to discuss with maths teacher. Okay, now mode f. This is the difference. The f mode returns the remainder part, but mode f returns the fractional and integer part of x separately. Okay, now check it. Mode f, mode math dot mode f. Okay, mode f. Okay, let's check the we are using. Yes, the function is correct. Mode f. Okay. And here I am using the two parts, the integer part and fractional part. Okay, so it will separate integer and fractional. Okay, now result will be, yes, result will be this. This is the fractional part and this is the integer part. So this is the function of mode f. So what is the function of mode f? It separates integer part and fractional part. Okay. So next function is trunc function. Okay, what is the role of trunc function? It returns the truncate integer value of x. Suppose that you have taken a decimal number, then trunc function will return the integer part. Okay, let's check it. Okay. For example, we have written trunc, trunc, write down any decimal number like 12.78. What will it return? It will return integer part, that is 12. Okay, save it and run it. Invalid syntax. Okay, we have inserted one more parenthesis. Okay. You can see the result is 12. It will return only integer part. Okay, so this so next function is e. E means exponential. This is a mathematical constant. Okay, it is used to find out the exponential value. Okay, in 11th class you will learn in detail about it. Okay, let's check it. What is the value of e? So write down only simple math dot e. Okay, save it and run it. Okay, so this is the value of exponent. Okay, e. This is the constant value basically. Okay, now next function is exponential x. Okay, so it returns e to the power x. Okay, it returns e to the power x. Here you will get the value of e, and the exp function will return e to the power x. Okay, let's check it. What we will get, how to apply it. So write down exp, and here you have to write down the value like suppose 2. So it will return 2 to e to the power 2 e square. Okay, okay, here you have to put one more parenthesis. Okay, now use of it. Okay, so this is the value of e square. This is the value of e, and this is the value of e square. Okay, now logarithm. I think in 10th class all of you have learned the logarithm chapter, so there is no need to discuss them in detail. You can find out the logarithm of using these log function like log x. Here this is the value, and base is e. Okay, now log 1 px it means the base is, it represents the natural logarithm of 1 plus x. Okay, log 2x it represents the base 2 logarithm of x, base 10 and logarithm of x. Okay, so you can find the value of logarithm of any value. Okay, let's take one example. For example, I am writing down the log 10 2. Okay, so log base 10 and value, it will be obviously 1. Okay, this is the 1. Okay, you know very well. Now, so next function is pov xy, means it will return x to the power y. Okay, now we calculate. For example, we have written PO and here you have to pass two parameters, one for base, suppose this is the base and this is the power, so it will return 2 to the power 5. It will, okay, so now the answer will be obviously 32. 2 to the power 5, it will be 32. Okay, so next function is sqrt square root. It will find out the square root of given parameter. Okay, so it's so simple. Here you have to write down sqrt square root of, for example, I am finding the square root of 100. Obviously it will be 10. Okay, the square root of 100 will be 10. Okay, now, okay, suppose I am finding the square root of 2, then what will be the result? You know what is the square root of 2? It will be obviously 1.414. okay, 1. Control S and 5. Okay, so it will return 1.414 and so on. Okay, so this is the square root function, and the next function is degrees. Okay, so this function, what does it do? It converts angle x from radian to degrees. Suppose you have a value in radian, and this function will convert the radian value into degrees. Okay, so write down degrees. Okay, now write down degrees. Degrees. Suppose you have written down 10 degrees. Okay. So 10 degrees will be 572.19 degrees. Okay. So next function is radians. So what is the role of radians function? It converts angle x from degrees to radian. If you are converting radians to degree, then you have to use degrees this function, and if you want to convert degrees to radian, for this you use radians. Okay, write down here radians. You have an angle radians. Okay, save it on. So this is the value of radian. This is the value of 90 degree in radian. Okay. Now there are some trigonometrical functions also, but whenever you use the trigonometrical function, the value of x will be only in radian. Okay. Degree, you can use the degree values, but there is no use of degrees value because it accepts only radian value. So you have to remember, whenever you use the trigonometrical function, you have to use values in radians. Okay, so for example, you are finding out the value sine 90. Okay, but you have to use the value in radians, so you have to use sine 90 in radians. Okay, so as I'm shut that down. Oh my god, what is the rule? Math dot sine. Okay, sorry, because we are using a function, that's why you have to use the math dot operator. Okay. What is the value of sine 90? Obviously it is 1. So you are finding out the value of sine 90. So sine 90 is, you know very well, it is sine 90 is 1, but sine 90, the 90 is in degree. So that's why you have to first convert it into radians. Okay. So you can use all these trigonometrical function like this. Okay. Now various type of trigonometrical functions are there, like a cos x, a sin x, a tan x, written the tangent of x, so written the arc cosine of x. Sorry buddy, I have no idea about the arc cosine and hyperbolic cosine and etc etc. For this you have to discuss with your mathematics teacher. Okay, I will tell you how to use this function, but I have no idea about it. Why do we use them? Okay, now next function and next and last function is pi. Pi is the constant. Okay, in any function you need, in any program you need the value of pi, so you can write down math.pi. Okay, for example, you know what is the value of pi? Obviously it is 22 upon 7, 3.144 is something. Okay, so how do you use it? The math.pi. Okay, save it and file. Okay, sorry. Okay. What is the value of pi? There is no parenthesis here, I think. So this is the value of pi. Okay, you can use directly the value of pi. So for example, if you are finding if you want to find the area of circle, so what is the area of circle? Obviously pi r square. So how can we use the value of pi? Write down pi r square. For example, area of circle. Okay, area of circle equals to pi r square. So this is the value of pi. Okay, this is the value of pi r square. Okay, into r. Suppose r is 10, r square. So what will be the result? You can check easily. The result will be area of circle is equal to 3.14. Okay, so students, all this about the function mathematical functions provided in Python. So you have to do more practice. Okay, I will provide a problem set also in the next video. Okay, you have to do more practice. You have to remember. Okay, now have a nice day. Be healthy, be safe. Bye.